Hello everybody, it's me, Code Trucker Noodle, signing in for another episode of the C Sharp Crash Course series. And here we have in our chapter, or episode 17, I guess, 18. Oh, wait, my cat again. Alright, she's outside now. So, we are here in the second part of the methods, and we are gonna see now the methods with parameters. Therefore, go to my script over here and go to console application. Let's create a method param. That's going to be the name of our program. And actually, whatever. Then we go to next. Okay. And then create. To my script. So when it creates over here, perfect. I can see now. So now we create the usual stuff using system okay. Now we go for class program, and we go for static void main. Remember that a method cannot be outside of a class. It must remain inside of a class. So now what we're gonna do is put here methods, right? And outside here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create our first method. It's gonna be a public integer get score. So now before this parentheses were remained how you call it empty, but now we're gonna write something in it or type something in it. So we're gonna get public integers get score, say integer score equals to 5. Okay, we open now our curly brackets, braces, whatever we're gonna call it, and we're gonna get a return, okay, because we're gonna return a value which is gonna be a score, the integer that we got in the parentheses. So if we go back in the how you call it main void main, we're gonna do a program a, okay, equals new program. We're gonna do console.writeLine a get score, and we save. Now what is going to happen is that after we save, we compile, and it shows here 5. Now what we could do here is do a console.writeLine, okay, and do, for example, the value is, and we can do it again. The value is 5. Now also what we could do is, instead of, maybe if we can get an integer score over here, okay, and then we go for example score equals to 4, okay, or would you like to continue and run the lesson? No, I don't want. So get score. So there's an error here, right? Why is that? There's no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter score. Interesting, isn't it? So even if I write it over here in score, integer score, this score is not recognized. That is actually, let's see what we could do if, for example, we do score. I think that won't do, right? Yeah. So you must basically name the value here inside the scope. Now, what we could do here, for example, it's do, no, I don't know, like score or integer score 2. Go over here and use 4. Okay. And in here, what we could do is score plus score 2. Okay. And inside here, wait a minute, what we could do here is result, integer result equal score 2, right? And there's no errors apparently, so let's go. And the value is 5. Because we're returning just one value, this number score. But if I want to return here a result, will it go through? I don't think so. Yeah, actually, yes. So you could do that, you know. So that is one example of how we could use parameters in our methods, okay? So let's get going with our second, okay? Second, how you call it, method here. That's the easy part of this. That's the cool thing about this method. I don't have to create as many programs or projects in Visual Studio. It's just one after another in the same project. That's what I like it. So we go for, I don't know, a public string, for example, get, sorry. Yeah, my bad. Get player name. Get player name. Okay. And this one doesn't have a parameter here. So because everything is inside here, string name is equals to, I don't know, Leon Kennedy. Okay. When and then return name. Okay. And we do the same thing here. Program B equals new program. Do console.write get no. Get player name. There we go. That's what I want to get. So now we go here to method parameter and it says Leon Kennedy. But what if I want to put it in the parameter? Well, let's get that out of the way, and we'll put here string name. There we go. And we make a little bit more space over there. Perfect. And there's build errors. What would it be? What would it be the build errors? Get player name. Interesting. There's no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter name. Interesting. So string name and the get player name here, there's an error because of that. There's no argument given. What if I don't think this is gonna get through, but if we do here, Leon Kennedy, and then returning, interesting. So here, Leon Kennedy. All right. Okay. So for more references, because this is actually pretty helpful. Visual Studio, for example, what it does is you can see here in the console over here that it's throwing me the error, right? But there's an error code over here, CS7036. What if we jump into that and we go for 7036? So we're searching for the error here, and the error appears to be missing argument. The following general errors are issued when the compiler can't match arguments to all members parameters. So 7036, there's no argument given to correspond. These errors are general. The compiler can't match the argument given in a method call to the required parameters of the method. Check the following causes. Make sure you include analysis or arguments, and it give you a bullet points of all the possible common errors that happens when you see this error code. You might also see 7036 if you wrote overloaded local functions. Local functions can be overloaded. The compiler only recognizes the first local function with a name. Check if you meant to call a different local function. These errors often appear with other diagnostics that can help diagnose the correct cause. So, with that being said, what we're supposed to be doing here, maybe what we could do is when we do the parameter here, for example, name, and we, for example, Leon, and then stringless name here, we go for Kennedy. What we should do is return name and last name. And with this, actually, we got our player name. Okay, so we save and compile, and we get Leon Kennedy. Of course, we need to put a space on Leon, but you know the gist. Okay, now let's jump into our third this one is good. This one is actually good. No. Okay, so we got another public method. It's gonna be a boolean. Bool is game over. So we're gonna have here inside the parameter a boolean variable called is over, and I'm gonna assign it to a false. Okay, open parenthesis is game over. So we got integer lives. Okay, we also got 3. As you can see, I got an error saying program is game over. Not all code paths return to a value. That means here that because I have returned the value, I haven't put return is game over or whatever, or is over. That error is gonna show. If I put it now, the error is gonna disappear. But we go, steps by steps. It's gonna disappear, sooner rather than later. So we got integer lives equals to 3 if lives equals 0, then we get is over equals to true. Else we got is over equals to false. Now what I'm going to do is return is over. And you guys can see here that when we go back into the main program C equals new program, okay, console dot write line good C is game over. Okay, so we save and compile. I'm saying it's false because we got 3 lives. Now let's make this. First of all, let's do something with these 2 other methods. It's gonna make a. So these 2, it's gonna print perfect. Okay. All right. So in this method over here, if we do integer lives 3, let's see. Maybe we put a console.write line saying how many lives does the hero has? Okay, and we put this in incognito. Integer lives. Okay. We put lives equals convert to integer. To integer 32. Sorry, I forgot. I had to put this in a moment. But if we put this, for example, lives equals convert to integer console read line if lives equals to 0. So we make it a little bit more modular, right? So we compile here and say how many lives does the hero has? And we put 3, well, we know what's the answer. We put 1, it's going to be a false because it's not over yet. What if we put 0? It's going to appear true because we have 0 lives, therefore it is over. Okay, that's the code 6. All right, the fun is not over yet. We got our last method. Okay, we are going to put this one over here. Oops, sorry, right here. There we go. So we're going to do a private integer generate random number. Okay. Random new random. Okay. Integer random number is equals to random that next. Return random number. Okay, and come back here. Program D equals new program. Okay, then console.write line. Console.write line D as in generate random number. And what's going to happen is it's going to randomize the number. It's going to be 76. So now I'm going to give you this exercise over here. Okay, I'm going to ask you to try to do this one and try to put a parameter here, a parameter inside the scope. Okay, So with that's going to be your homework. But we are actually finished with this chapter. We finished chapters, and the last chapter is going to be Introduction to Object-Oriented Programming, okay? So I'll give you a round of applause for everybody who followed me to the very end of C#. And newsflash, I'm gonna restart from where, well, sorry, not restart, but I'm gonna come back from where I let off on my Python course. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for everything, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.